I am so glad that you had a fabulous labor and delivery experience here at Utah Valley Hospital. I'm a nurse here, and I know Shay, and she is awesome, and I'm so glad she got to take care of you. But I'm also very sad to hear that you had a traumatizing experience after the birth of your baby. It sounds like she went to the newborn ICU and spent 5 days there, and you weren't able to spend much time with her right after the delivery. In order to cope with this, I think it might be helpful for you to know what might normally happen. About a fifth of babies, or 20%, are actually taken to the newborn ICU after delivery because they have issues transitioning from a water world inside the mom to the air world that we live in. And it's pretty typical for this to happen. Some babies come out and they do really well and they take their first breath, and after that there's no issues. But others have a hard time opening up the little sacs in their lungs, and they need a little bit of help. We might hear them grunt in the delivery room or make sounds like every time they breathe, and that means that they're struggling. So we take them over to the newborn ICU and we put them on what's called CPAP, and that stands for continuous positive airway pressure, and that's the same thing that people use who have sleep apnea. It's nothing different. It's just two little prongs that go inside the baby's nose and blow air down into the lungs continuously, and they do this for about an hour. It's similar to a water balloon. Like the first time you try to blow up a tight little water balloon, it's really hard to blow it up. But then once you've blown it up before, or especially if you keep a little bit of air in it in between each time you try to, blow it up, it makes it much easier. So this is what we do for the baby's little lung sacs, and this helps them transition. It just gives them time where they don't have to work so hard while they adjust to the air world that we live in. So I don't know the circumstances behind your delivery and what happened with your baby, but it's very typical for babies to have to go over to the newborn ICU and do this, and very typical for moms to not have to, or to not be able to hold their baby after delivery. Now, we want to keep moms and babies together. That's always our goal, but sometimes because of baby's condition or mom's condition, you have to be separated. And having a baby in the newborn ICU is never easy. It's very difficult, and especially you walk in and you see them and all the lines and tubes and everything that they're doing seems so foreign and sometimes almost cruel. But it's always done for their best good, and we always have the baby's interest at heart. And I hope that the experience that you had in the NICU was just as good as your labor and delivery experience. The nurses there are very caring and want you to be able to understand everything that's going on with your baby and help you transition so that you can go home and take care of your baby who's been in the hospital and been sick. If you're still having issues coping with what happened after the delivery of your baby, there's definitely a possibility that you're having issues with postpartum depression. About 10% of women who've had babies do struggle with this, but no one walks around with a sign on them saying, I have postpartum depression. So if you have issues, you feel very alone, and you feel it may be something you don't want to discuss with other people because you feel like no one else struggles, but that's not the truth. So if you're still struggling with this, I would recommend talking to your doctor, and they can discuss your symptoms with you and decide if medication or other treatments are necessary to help you cope with this experience. And I wish the best for you. I hope that you and your baby are doing well otherwise. And if you have any other questions for me, feel free to ask them on our Facebook page, and recommend us to your friends and family too.